Hi, I'm Craig. That's my brother Brad. Welcome to Weekdays with Craig and Brad.
Life is hard, but you can't give up. Let's have a conversation. Weekdays, we're gonna make it today. Weekdays with Craig and Brad.
Episode 77, Brad. We made it.
Yes. Remember the long drawn out yeses when you do that in school and you go, yes. I remember in the Mighty Ducks 3, he like asks out a girl or something. What's his face does, and then they're getting on a bus and he goes, yes. He does like a fist bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hard fist bump is something that is missing in today's world, you know?
Yeah, kids today, I mean, they don't know.
Whatever. Hey, what they don't know about is Zim coming in with a $50
Dude.
super sticker, whatever that is over on YouTube. I am assuming that's $50 to us. Well, actually, it's 70% of $50 because YouTube takes 30% cut of that. So either way, hey, amazing stuff. Love that. Wow.
When Zim gets to Texas, we gotta hang out.
We gotta get some barbecue.
Barbecue, yeah.
Love that.
Whatever
Love
you want.
that.
Whatever you want.
Danny came in with Prime over on Twitch saying, "Yay, toast, man! Give it up. Get some crowns. Just yay, Zim in the chat.
Yeah,
XIM.
Come on in. Come on in,
man. What a start! What a start as we get going. I imagine Zim's hanging out in the hotel room, man. Just hanging out in the hotel room. We're just chomping along. Because I'll tell you what, we got a great show tonight, Brad.
Oh, one of the best.
What?
One of the best shows we've ever done.
Oh, good.
Probably the best show we've ever done.
Oh, nice. That's great. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm going to tell you that tonight's a special show because it is a special show. But I also would like to let you know that today, right now, it's time for the YouTube comment of the day. This one coming to our friend from
Okay, start over.
The YouTube comment. This one coming from our friend Danger Doom. Danger Doom says, Craig correcting Brad over every, quote, offensive word is gold. Listen to me, Danger Doom. How about you shut the fuck up? All right? Listen, all right, listen, Danger Doom. I don't understand why you got to put the words offensive in quotations. All right. This is just me and you talking, Danger Doom. All right. These are offensive words and people get offended by them. My screen is black today. Why? Because I'm offended by that. All right. And that don't put a quotation marks in there, Danger Doom. All right. There's nothing offensive about it. They're extremely offensive. They're also not, just Danger Doom. Congratulations.
Well, how many points?
No points. Danger Doom.
Gosh.
I find offense and you're offensive to that. The YouTube comment of the day. Unacceptable, Danger Doom.
I was saying some offensive stuff last night, I guess. And yeah.
Incredibly.
Yeah. You know what I said last night? You know what I said last night? That was the most offensive thing. Let me see if I can remember. Let me see if I can remember. I said Burger King was right.
Listen,
no.
Listen, now
I didn't say Burger King was right. I said Burger King was wrong. Women don't belong in the kitchen.
Listen, I know that you think you're hilarious right now, okay? But especially in today's climate, we don't use kings, all right? We don't talk about royalty. Everybody is even, all right? And I take offense to that.
I hear you, and I will do better.
Okay.
All right.
Banned. That's right, Travis. Oh, man, that's ridiculous. I'm glad you guys are in. It's episode 77. We're going to have a spectacular show this evening. Spectacular. If it's your first time tuning in, hopefully you hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching over on YouTube, do us a favor. Hit the thumbs up. We are growing oh so quickly, oh so fast. Every single episode, the viewership goes just a little bit more just a little bit more over on twitch.tv/CraigSkits and at youtube.com/CraigSkits. But we got a banger tonight. We got a banger. I'll tell you what. I'm ready.
Is it as much of a banger as the Grammys were last night?
You know, I got to be honest. All I saw about the Grammys was that they were rated extremely low. Like nobody watched them, right? And you know what? You know what I need to know about the Grammys is who won the best kids song. Because here's the thing. Once again, you tried to be nominated and it got slapped to half court.
Yeah, I should give everybody the quick rundown about my Grammy experience last year. So last year I submitted for the Grammys, first time in my career of 20 years of creating music. I got this close to getting a Grammy award. I submitted. I went through the process. I submitted for Best Children's Album. I didn't get nominated, and I was kind of like, oh, well, whatever. That's okay. And then the 5 nominees that did get nominated, 3 of them were like, hey, whoa. 5 of these, all 5 of us are white people. So then they 3 of them pulled out and left 2 nominees standing. And it was white guy with acoustic guitar and white girl with acoustic guitar, I think. I don't know their name. I can't remember their names. But guess which one won?
Way to generalize.
At this point, it's fine.
I don't know, Brad. Tell me.
The white girl, of course,
because
we need to show the inclusivity.
Yes.
Yes. So that's what happened was we had 5 nominees for the children's artists. 3 of them said, hey, whoa, we're all white. We can't do that. We're out of here, even though they went through the effort to submit their album in the first place. Go back and watch that episode. We did a whole episode on it. And ultimately, look, the Grammys were rated poorly. Cardi B performed WAP last night on stage. I'm kind of glad I wasn't a part of the whole shebang after this year.
Can we okay, I don't know a whole lot about, you know, I've heard Cardi B is kind of a sexual being. Heard she's kind of
well, yeah, she explores her sexuality. I mean, but I mean, she's also basically, she's a strong woman. Is what they want me to say.
Well, so how was her performance?
It was X-rated. I saw this picture of it, and I saw a little clip of it from people passing it around today. So I tweeted, they're basically scissoring each other on stage with money behind them. I said 2 weeks ago I was scolded because WAP wasn't for children, so it was stupid of me to compare it to Dr. Seuss. Flash forward to last night when this aired on national television for any and everyone to watch and learn how to be a famous prostitute. Good job. Point made. And sure enough, I had the woke mob was kind of coming after me here. They were like, the big point of the day was, well, you're in charge of what your kids see. You turn off the TV. And I'm like, that's an interesting point. It's kind of like if there's a book, a particular book, I don't want to name names, so let's just say it's a Dr. Seuss book, and you don't want to read it. Well, you don't pick up the book, right? It's as easy as turning off the TV, right? Your point is moot, okay? It's just funny because I'm just like, I said another comment today about Elvis, and it was basically like, look, hey, yeah, back in the 1950s, Elvis had to be shown from the waist up on TV because his wiggling hips were too controversial. But today, CBS got no problem basically showing lesbian porn live on stage. So
do they make out?
I don't know. Probably at some point. I can't confirm or deny that. I was one of the people that didn't watch last night. I didn't even know after my whole year of attempting to get a Grammy. I didn't even know the Grammys were on last night until this morning.
Well, how can you judge then, Brad? If you didn't watch, how can you judge?
Pull up my screen again. Here we go. There you go. That's how I can judge.
Okay, sounds good.
And the Grammys. Here you go. Grammy ratings hit all-time low in viewership and key demo. I was like, well, what's the key demographic for the Grammys anyway? The key demographic is they rated a 2.1 rating among adults
wow.
18 to 49.
Wow.
Is not only down 61% from the final numbers of the 2020 Grammys, but an all-time low of its own as well.
Holy moly.
You know,
a 2.1, that's only like 2 million people. Essentially a 2.1 is like 2.1 million people. That's crazy low.
yeah.
That's almost as bad as the NBA.
Well, look, there's no good entertainment out there right now in the mainstream, at least. You know, if you want really good artistry in music these days, if you want something solid with something that means something, you're not going to find it on the Grammys. You're just not.
Right.
And maybe that's why I didn't fit in this year, because I've got too much heart, Craig.
Travis says, yeah, they probably shouldn't have WAP as the song. I mean, there's a reason why they never let Lil' Kim sing My Neck, My Back, My Pussy, and My Crack. May as well get her to sing the song next year. Do you remember that song, Brad? It's a good one.
I remember, no, but you know what I remember? I remember the Slob on My Knob song.
Slop on my knob, like corn on the cob.
I remember the first time I heard that song, I cracked up in high school. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a real song. And I couldn't believe it.
What is this?
No. What?
No, like, is it an actual song?
Slob on my knob like corn on the cob. Check in with me and do your job.
Is it it's 3 6 Mafia? Is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna say real quick.
I don't know. Somebody said Juicy J. Is it Juicy J? You never heard that song before?
No, I have. I got it. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get it. We're just gonna listen to the very, very beginning of it. At the risk of potentially being copywritten for all sorts of bad things, we're going to download this and listen to this really fast because I mean,
is there a music video for it?
There sure is.
Look, here's the deal. Like, I'm not even saying I'm not going to jump on let's cancel Cardi B. She doesn't have to be canceled, but like,
no,
put her music where it belongs. And you know where it belongs? You know where her music video belongs?
Where does her music?
The XXX truck stop porn shop.
You sound so old right now.
That's where you shop for the Cardi B music. Well, look, I got kids now. Okay. At one point, I could laugh at the Slob on My Knob song.
All right. Well, I can't.
Today I'm going, get those whores off the TV.
You sure sound like it. You sound like that, man. No. You boomer.
Yeah.
Boomer.
Oh yeah. I saw that comment today in my Twitter post. Someone was like, okay, boomer. They kept posting memes of Cardi B. And I'm like, that's your comeback, is just posting more memes of Cardi B. You got nothing except okay, boomer. And
that's memes. It's like you go, okay, boomer, and you go, well, you're ageist. You know, and they go, oh shit, I am what I hate. You know, it's crazy. Tailstraw, thank you so much for the super chat. That's awesome. Just the one doll hair. That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Love it.
That's great. I couldn't download it, but if anybody wants to find it, just please YouTube Slob on My Knob.
You want to read the lyrics?
Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
You want me to read the lyrics?
Yeah, please. I got it.
Hold on. You got them pulled up? Oh, here they are on Google.
I got it. Slob on my knob, like corn on the cob. Check in with me and do your job. Lay on the bed and give me head.
And give me head. Don't have to ask. Don't have to beg. Juicy is my name. Sex is my game. Let's call the boys. Let's run a train. Squeeze.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you.
Squeeze on my nuts, Jesus. Oh gosh.
Oh my God.
This is quality entertainment right here. We should get a Grammy just for that interpretation of that song.
That's right. You know, I got to be honest. That song could be performed on the Grammys. Here, Colors of Games says, old man yells at WAP. I mean, old man yells at what else, pussy?
Yeah. Look,
get that out of here.
It's not even like I get it. Look, there's artists that push boundaries, and all that stuff, but does it really need to be on the awards show on CBS. Like, not everybody had like this is like a performance that, from what I saw, it's something that you would have tuned into on HBO late at night, when the parents are asleep and you're like, oh my gosh. And it's like, it's not quite enough. It's not quite all nudity, but it's just enough to make you go, oh my God. I can't believe
What are we doing? Gino is asking if I can get a bunch of people on the podcast. Gino, we're going to have guests on the podcast in time. Just hang tight. Okay.
Yeah.
Zim with 1,000 bits over on Twitch.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were about to say $1,000. And I was like, oh crap. I'm definitely getting you a steak.
Yeah.
Jeez, well, thanks for the bits. That's great.
Yes. Saying, hey, Craig, bring back the top 10 pussy ass bitches and add whoever works on the Twitch app because it effing sucks. Forced to connect my laptop to the cancer that is hotel white. Jeez, so my laptop is probably going to get an STD. And I would love to come see you guys, but I don't know if the army will give me time off. I'd go AWOL, and being on active duty orders, you'd have to send me to prison. I don't want to do that, Zim. Just whenever. It's okay.
Whenever.
All right,
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. Okay.
Woo. All right.
Hey,
Silly start.
Yeah. Well, how fun is this? Before we get into the title of tonight's episode, I would let people know why I don't talk about video games anymore. Why I don't do any more video game content. Before we get to that, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to find out or to continue the quest to find out just
What the heck is that?
Yeah.
That's nice transition there. So here we go. Brad, explain what's going on.
What the heck is that? Is a segment. It's a part of our show where we show you a blurry picture. It's your job to guess what the heck is that. And this is this week's picture. We've had a lot of good guesses so far. Craig is insistent that this is himself.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It really does. I could totally see that. Why you would think that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I will not confirm or deny that. But I could totally see it.
Well, we'll see. So if anybody wants to do it, I'll tell you what. Now's a great time to take one last glance at it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. Okay, now, while we do an opportunity, we're going to take this opportunity to feed the algorithm over on YouTube because the algorithm loves comments. Nom, 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 nom. And we're going to please you guys with the greatness of the one-man band, the algorithm. Get to the comments right now. Let us know what the heck that is.
I'm Al Gore, the voice of your generation. Young people today, let me ask you this. How can we party? The earth is so big, can we party? I'm Al Gore, the voice of your generation. Party.
That's great. Good job, Al. Love that. Okay, so once again, put your comments down below. Let us know exactly what it is. So let's get into the good stuff here, man. It was brought up in the comments below. It's to the point of that I have answered this. It said I've answered this 80 times, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe you've heard me talk about this, but never actually put it out there publicly. I may have mentioned it in a stream or I've put it on a post or something, but I figured I'd kind of talk about this a little bit more in depth tonight because this is something that I get a lot. Oh, this is not the stuttering Craig I grew up with. You're not the guy I knew. You're talking about these things that I'm not familiar with or I don't want to hear. It's like,
yeah,
okay,
I hear you.
I'm here to upset everybody. That's what we do. Now, I do want people to look back to when ScrewAttack started, right? And ScrewAttack was called, and I'm not kidding when I say this, ScrewAttack was called kind of the punk rock of video games at the time, right?
Like this podcast.
Exactly.
Is the punk rock of podcasts.
Right.
Yeah.
We were kind of doing our own thing, doing it in our own way. It's almost exactly like this podcast has started, right? Mm-hmm. But I spent 15 years, 14 years talking about video games online. And it got to a point to where I really like games. I like games a lot. I like games that are simple. I like games that are fun, games you can play with your friends, co-op games you can play on a couch, you can compete with, any sort of game that has some sort of competition. You go to an arcade, you stand next to somebody, and you learn a lot about them whenever you play those games. And I think that's something that's really lost in today's video games. Everything is online right now. There's not obviously with COVID, the way it's been, it's forced everything online. But for me, the biggest push, it's not just the games, because I really don't have any interest in what the games are today. I really don't. When the PlayStation 5 came out, my level of interest in buying one was less than zero, right? That's right. When the Xbox came out, I legitimately have no interest. I don't even know what games are on the Xbox. I have a Switch, and that is pretty much the only modern console I have. But I mainly have the Switch as a Mario machine because I like Mario games, and they're simple and they're fun. They're easy to play. But the biggest reason why I don't like talking about games anymore is because the community is toxic as fuck. It's the most toxic community I've ever been around, the most immature community I've ever been around. And it won't grow up, because what happens is those who eventually grow out of games, they leave and they mature a little bit. But gamers are continuously growing. So as you get older and you're still talking about games, the audience gets younger, and they're experiencing different things that you're experiencing. So there's obviously a big generational gap in there. And I don't want to be the weird 39-year-old guy talking about PlayStation 5. And with all due respect to Adam Sessler, over on G4, they're relaunching G4. He just looks old doing it. And I don't want to be the old guy talking about video games. That's really what it comes down to, is I don't want to be that guy. But the toxic community is insane. And, I experienced different levels of, that throughout my career. And it's one of those things that as it happens, you don't really realize it. I remember back, you kind of callous over the whole toxicity of it. It's just like, well, it's part of the culture. It's part of gaming. And I think I reached a point where you just go like, why? Why does it have to be a part of gaming? For a community that's all about inclusiveness, it is all about hate. You got this community that is all about welcoming everybody in, and also combined with some of the most evil, vile people on the internet. And that's the worst. And I don't want to be associated with that. The games aren't very fun, and the community for me it was the thing that really pushed it over the top. So it's tough. It's tough. It's always been, gaming has never been my life. It's always been a hobby of mine. But as I've gotten older, it's become less and less of a hobby, and something that I've been less and less interested in. I won't go back to arcades talking about that, where video games for me, when you would go to SGC, when you would go to One Night Only, or any other event that I'll ever put on, I need arcade games there, because I feel like you can learn so much from playing against somebody in 60 seconds of playing in the Street Fighter 2, and sitting down and playing the Simpsons arcade game or whatever, where you sit down or you stand up and you got two, three people playing against your one person. You can learn a lot about them as a person. If you're playing Street Fighter, you can learn if they're aggressive or not. You can learn if they're passive. You can learn based off not just in their in-game ability, but also how they talk, how they interact. You can learn if they're full of themselves, they're cocky, they're arrogant. You learn a lot about somebody really, really quick. And I feel like you don't necessarily have that today. And I feel like that's very much lost. You see it on Twitch, you see it with streamers, where their personality comes out. But as I was watching a streamer the other day where he was just kind of going and just playing the game. And when you watch a streamer play a game, for me, games have always been communal, and there's something fascinating about watching a speedrunner or somebody do it. It's fascinating to watch their strategy. I mean, I can sit there and watch them for hours. But I also want to hear about why they're doing that or how they're doing it. And I was watching this one guy in particular who just came off as like super arrogant as he was playing through Super Metroid. And I thought to myself, like, why are you arrogant about this? You're playing a game that's 30 years old. You know, it's like, I talk about how good I am at Super Mario 35. It's just an act, right? I feel like I'm good, but like the reality is like, come on, I'm playing a game that I should be good at, right? I'm 39 years old. The game's 35 years old. I've been playing it literally my entire life. And it's like, who really cares? Like, who really cares?
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. So
ones and zeros.
Right. Silverax says, here's the good thing. Arcades have been making a comeback lately. Lots of arcades popping up. Right. And kids are still very much drawn to those games. My kids love Street Fighter 2. They love Pac-Man. They love those games that you can sit down and get on that for sure. It's very, very, very easy. Schnitzel says, it brings me so much shame to say this. As a Smash Brothers fan, I can attest to the equality of welcoming yet toxic behavior of modern gamers. Please no yeah, all right. Right. And there's a ton of truth to that. It's crazy. And I would love to hear anybody. I would love to hear anybody's other take if they feel like the gaming community is so positive. Like, get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The gaming community does some amazing things, right? They raise a ton of money for charity, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of really that's the upper echelon, great people who are raising like literally millions of dollars are raised for charities every year through the gaming community. But there's so much bad that comes along with that. So much bad that comes along with it. And I just don't really want to deal with it anymore. I think that's probably the biggest thing. So
Bitgrease says it's not gaming. People in general are toxic. The online world has brought the bulk of human toxicity out of hiding. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. But but if you look at what social media is, metaphorically, you could look at it kind of like you've made life a video game in a way, because you're sharing the best versions of yourself, and you're getting points, these mental points of virtue based on what you think you're posting. There's I don't want to call it skill. There's certain I don't know what I'm saying. Like you have an ability to play a game. Like you're saying, you watch gamers and you like to study how they're doing things. Well, you can do that with social media too. If you go into anybody's profile, you'll get their tone of how they talk back to people and what their defense is and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that, and that doesn't mean they're all bad.
Right.
But they're
now,
out there.
I will tell you this. I can talk about classic games all day, right? Games are, and I know I sound old when I say these things, right? I can talk about old games, even if I don't know the old games. I can talk about them. But and I've actually like legitimately considered. I was like, well, what if I was to like, Craig Skitz is what I've gone by the last like 4 years, right? And I thought to myself, what if I was to change that back just to like Stuttering Craig? And everyone just calls me Craig, whatever. Just so people can find me if they wanted to find me a little bit easier, because nobody knows who Craig Skitz is, right? The reason I switched to Craig Skitz was to move away from the stuttering aspect of it and to kind of separate from ScrewAttack, because at the time I left ScrewAttack and I just wanted a clean start. But I figured those who, I've considered like switching it back to Stuttering Craig just to allow people those who were, the one guy out every 10 days who's like, I wonder what's going on with ScrewAttack, Googles it and maybe they find me in some way, shape, or form. And I thought about like possibly doing a YouTube channel where I just kind of talk about classic games or something along those lines, or just stream classic games or whatever. But I don't know. I think that's the reason why I really like our community so much, is that, we have this older community, and if they're not older, they are old enough to understand the maturity aspect that we're looking for, and that they can have conversations and not be settled down into stupid memes. And we've all kind of grown up a little bit together, which is amazing. So I really appreciate that.
If you're here watching now, you are paying attention. It's very hard to rebrand yourself when people get to know you as a certain thing. Right. I've gone through that with my music. 5 Times August for 15 years. And like I did a side project where I just called it Bradley James a few years ago. And, I couldn't get it out there because I had nothing nobody knew to look for it. You know, nobody knew what it was. It didn't mean anything to anybody. So, you know, if you want to be Stuttering Craig, you be Stuttering Craig.
Okay. Thanks. John Gon says, I think you're just skewing the negativity of gaming community too far without considering the positive of it, which, by the way, I don't know if you heard, John, that I actually spoke very highly of the positive side of things just before we go any further. There's a streamer my friend recommended to me a year ago, and his community has been nothing but wholesome and positive no matter what he plays. Personally, I think it's just a matter of powering through toxic shit in general and remembering that you and others can stay positive in the face of it all, right? But the idea of having to power through and plow through just mounds and mounds of shit that is predominantly represented in the gaming space doesn't sound very appealing to me. Just doesn't sound very fun. We need to stop for a second. We need to stop for a second. Zim used 500 bits and said, don't spend it all in one place. Zim, thank you.
Zim.
That's outstanding. Stalin hit the follow button.
I'm gonna give Zim a wink. This wink's just for Zim.
Nice. Aiden Perez with the $7 direct donation. Says Cable said weak to you and said, respect my authority. And then Zim directly donated $500.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, I don't believe you.
This is what it says on my thing.
No.
It says it's not $1,000, but I'd love to share some of the bonus I took the Army 3 years to finally give me. This may be my last day out to catch a live stream. I'll have the internet when I go overseas, but I don't know what my schedule will be like. Take care in the meantime.
Oh my gosh. King Zim.
Wow. That is insane. Holy crap.
Yeah. That's
can we just get some thank yous, please?
Yeah, fill up the chat.
$500 from Zim.
That's amazing.
Holy
moly. I want to say thank you. And you know what? I want to give you another wink.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Hey, there it is.
That's
wow.
the best I can do right now, buddy.
That is insane.
If I was there, I'd give you a little pat on the back and a little hug.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for supporting the show.
And not to be outdone, Tailstraw came in with the $1 super chat. That's
fantastic.
Wow. That is
fantastic. And super. I mean, hey, look, this show, it is what it is. So if you guys are here enjoying it, watching it every night, that's all we can ask for. And we're just doing our best. We're just doing our best.
Let's continue the conversation as we try to. Wow. Okay. Vorile came in, says toxicity in communities really annoys me so much. I love Smash Brothers, but as a fan, the community really is just a cesspool. It turns me off and gives me a red flag warning when I should avoid it now. Hell, the thing that actually annoys me most about the Smash community is when new characters are announced, people harass Nintendo saying they should add quote insert character here instead, or even on presentations that have nothing to do with Smash, right? And I think a lot of that has to do with you're dealing with, and this is going to piss a lot of people off, you're dealing with a kid's hobby, right? The gaming in general is still targeted towards kids, right? There are mature rated games, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. But those mature rated games are still made for essentially kids, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids in college. And, you know, there's still a lot. I mean, the vast majority of people who spend money on games is actually women. I don't know if you know this stat. The vast majority of people who spend money on games is women. And a lot of it comes from mobile, actually. There's a huge mobile market for women in general. And but when you think of like the hardcore gamer, I think the hardcore PlayStation 5, Xbox, to a lesser extent, Nintendo has its low points as well. But Nintendo's pretty family friendly. Like they're more hardcore games to speak of, like Smash. Yeah, there's definitely, kids in there. Good question here from RW Hall. It says, serious silly question. What do you think needs to happen to fix community? Like, is there a magical solution that could happen? What would that be? The magical solution would be people remove social media. Remove that. That's the magical solution. Remove it so everyone's not trying to one up each other, which is not going to happen. So that is why I don't want to be a part of it. So yeah,
I think that's probably the biggest difference, right? With gaming, like back in the day, if you were at an arcade, you were right there with somebody. You couldn't, if you were talking smack to them, it was a playful, smack talk. You were right there. You weren't going to really try to push them, and you weren't going to like try to make them feel bad. Or even if you're playing with a friend at home, you're right there with them. I think nowadays with social media and being disconnected, everybody's got their headphones on and they're talking smack as sort of anonymously, right, through avatars and such. It does create it creates a boundary of where you just feel like you can get away with more. It adds to the toxicity that you're speaking of.
So Mike brings up something here. He says trolls and smack talkers in games are nothing new. Just go to your local arcade playing a competitive fighting game back in the day. They're just now online. I feel like a small Legends community is what we need. I feel like our small Legend community is what we needed in the community. It's a fun place to hang out and to speak. I can easily see myself and some of Legends like as we meet as a bar back in the day. Absolutely. I think there's a lot of truth in that, Mike. I feel like there's a lot of truth in that. But I think the biggest difference is that a lot of the people that you would smack talk online or I'm sorry, smack talk like in an arcade, let's say you body somebody in Street Fighter, right? And you're like, oh, what's up? At the end of the day, I would say 95 out of 100 times, right? Cooler heads always prevail. But online, it just goes, you're a this, you're a that, bad word this, racist this, racist that. And it devolves so quickly. And that's ugly. Whereas it goes back to the idea of being in person, right? The idea of doing something in person is so much harder to do. Like, I always invite people, if they have a problem with me, I always invite them to come talk to me. And I have honestly, I'm not kidding when I say this, 99.999% of the time, I've had two in my entire 15-year career come talk to me if they have a problem with me. The vast majority of people just want to talk, just want to make snarky comments online, and if you go back to the comments, like there was a guy who was ragging on me, and I said, hey, he's like, if I'm going to talk to you, let's do it publicly. I said, okay, come on the show. No answer. No answer. Just go back in the show.
There is an additional component there, and it's the verbiage and the language of today. It's not just that, like back in the day, if you got in a riff with somebody, it was just like, you suck, right? Nowadays, you're a racist for whatever reason, or like you've been called a white supremacist.
Right.
And then people have these little nooks on their social media where they can go talk smack about you even more and confirm it in their own little echo chamber bubble without ever speaking to you like you're saying in person. So like there's another component there, I think, that adds to these cliques and the tone of these communities where, we're the anti-racist group, right. And everybody else is a race. And it's like, I couldn't even deal with it these days. Hey, look at Queen Monica, though. I meant to call this out. Thanks for the $5.
Says, love you, Craig and Brad. You both could play Mario 3 in 2-player mode for a live stream. You should take a shot on St. Patty's Day per death. Well, I don't die in Mario 3, so you'd be stone cold sober. So, but thank you so much. Oh, yeah, I think that I die
in all the games.
Yeah, I think it'd be super fun. And Nihilist also resub Prime for 5 months. Thank you so much, Nihilist. Greatly appreciate that. That is awesome stuff. There's a really great conversation, by the way. Travis says, we had a disagreement and talked about it. That's right. You're one of the two. you're one of the two, Travis. That's right. Tatai actually brings up a really good question. He says, did the females of ScrewAttack or Jose get harassed back in the day? Do you think they would? Would today? I think they 100% would get harassed today. Did they get harassed back in the day? Not really. You know, I would say, you know, there's like I remember we did a skit with Corey early on where kind of the whole thing was, you know, we were mocking the internet at the time, and people would, you know, we were essentially taking comments from people. And I think Jared played the troll of the internet, and he essentially would take things that were said in comments and recite them. And then we had a chance to essentially beat the shit out of the trolls, which was a pretty good clip we did back in the day. And one of the things he said to Corey was like, "Shut up, show me your boobs," which is, I remember seeing that a lot. "Oh, girl, ooh, show me your boobs," you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, that's harassment, you know, and it's so stupid because, you know, it was just kind of like, okay, you know, you accept it, and that's not acceptable. You know, you grow up and you're like, what are you doing? You know? So,
I saw, the interview I did. Who was the second girl you hired at ScrewAttack? I want to.
Well, we had Corey,
and
then we had Lauren.
Yeah, I think it was Lauren. So we did a Unaware Steve interviewed Lauren. And I interviewed her in the closet, and I set up like these, like I taped up these terrible like cliche pictures of like the sports car and a picture of the Notebook movie, and I was like hitting on her, and I saw that sometime not too long ago, and I made a boob comment, and at the time I remember thinking that was funny. I saw it back recently. I was like, "Oh, Brad, right, skating on thin ice there, buddy."
Right. But I'm sure Lauren was cool with it, you know. But at the same time, we were also just getting to know Lauren, so it's like you kind of like. Unaware Steve would do that to everybody. I mean, you're interviewing people in bathrooms, you know.
You know, for as much as Unaware Steve didn't go over well back then, anyway. I love the idea that the stuff that does exist of Unaware Steve is a lot of stuff. Like when I would go to the conventions and basically harass people, you couldn't do that today. And it's a nice little nugget of where people were in time, because like I would go and talk to gamers and while they're in the middle of something and bother them, and they just be like, "Just leave me alone."
Right. Mad. That's awesome. Real quick, we had an outstanding super chat from Hidden Gem Gamers. It says, "It's sometimes best to leave behind your persona and try something new. James Rolfe just uploaded a new AVGN episode today, and it was garbage. I've been a fan of James since 2007, and Screenwave Media is milking him dry." Well, you know, I can't really speak for James and in that episode. I haven't seen it, but I know that James, you know, with AVGN in general, I mean, it's still his creation. Now, a lot of the work is done by Screenwave. I know that much, and he's more of a actor at this point. You know, he still has roles in certain episodes, but you know, that's just based off of my conversations with him. But I can't really speak for that episode. You know, but at the same time, he's also been doing it for 15 years. You know, he's been online for 15 years. James is the godfather of internet reviewers. Yeah. Like, of all reviewers online, James Rolfe is the reviewer of the godfather of all of them. And you know, he's an icon when it comes to that stuff. So, you know, you'll have your hits and you'll have your misses. And you know, at the end of the day, I think that's really what it comes down to. Is sometimes, you know, maybe there will be a time where James hangs up and retires the AVGN character. But at the same time, he also has a family to take care of and a business to run, you know, outside of Cinemassacre. So it kind of goes back to like the football player who, and I'm not saying this about James, I'm just saying just in general, when you create content online, you know, are you creating content for yourself or are you creating content for the money? And I think for me, I've always wanted to change it up as much as I can. You know, that's why we tried so many different things at ScrewAttack. That's why I left ScrewAttack to start Game Attack. That's why I left Game Attack to be doing this. You know, I always want to try something different and variety, because variety is the spice of life. But thank you so much, Hidden Gem Gamers. Appreciate that.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Please, I'll answer some other things real quick while you have the opportunity. I don't know where Brad's going. We'll see. Zim with 1,000 bits says Craig will be busy playing. Craig will be busy playing the XCOM games when I get back in about a year. So get your game requests in. Thank you, Zim. Appreciate it. You're insane, dude. Wow. Wow. There's so much going on here. Couch look at this. This is outstanding. Couch Multiplayer says, look at my name, guys. This is what I truly miss in gaming. Brad is right. Online gaming is toxic. I pity the online Fortnite kids of today. You know, so online there have been plenty of couch co-op games that have come out in the last couple years. Plenty of them. But the problem is you can't really do that anymore. You can't play couch co-op games because you can't be anywhere within 6 feet of people. You know, so that makes it pretty hard. But there have been some really, really good games that have come out for sure. Steve says, I'm in the UK. You guys are making me an insomniac.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, though.
Right.
Partying late. Hey, this is late for us.
Yeah. They call me Mr. Y. Says, I hear that kind of conversation. I've been a teacher for over a decade, and I'm contemplating hanging that up and trying a new direction. It's a lot, man. You know, there's a reason why people make career changes after 15, 20 years, you know, and there's no shame in that. You know, about a year and a half ago, when I really started thinking about like leaving Game Attack, I was talking to an in-law who's been a pilot, and he's like, you should be a pilot. I was like, I'm 38. I can't just like leave and be a pilot. And he's like, yeah, you can. It'll take 2 years. You go to school for 2 years, you're gonna be a pilot when you're 40. And everybody my age is going to be retiring. So there's going to be a drastic need for pilots, which is still going to happen here in the next like 6 months to 12 months. There's going to be a huge pilot shortage. So because all the pilots who were hired back in the day, they're going to be forced into retirement so they can hire new people. So just kind of interesting stuff. But I didn't think being a pilot was really for me. So yeah. You know, Hal says, be right back, off to pilot school. Right.
Well, I think that in James's case, when you have a character that's your brand, and when he started it out, like same thing with ScrewAttack, same thing with me. When you start these things out, you're doing it for yourself. You're just doing whatever you want, and it hasn't become anything yet. So there's a lot of freedom to do whatever you want. Now, 15 years down the road, people have expectations, and you have a brand built up. And I remember we were watching, I've been watching a lot of Mr. Bean with my kids lately. Now, Mr. Bean had 15 episodes of his show, only 15 episodes that were made in the late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
But we started looking at what else you could find of Mr. Bean, and he made a couple movies, he had a cartoon series, and then he made these short films like not too long ago that were like real short, like internet blip things. And you're just like, why did he do this? But also I was thinking, who else would do it? You know, like, so who else is going to be the angry video game nerd, right? Like,
right. When it's done, it's done. I think, you know, with James, like whenever it's done, it'll be done. 100% for sure. If you guys are watching over on YouTube, thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Over 100 of you guys watching over on YouTube. Do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. Really appreciate that. We can get a like spike over there. That'd be outstanding. If you'd like for us to do more content like this, where we talk about ScrewAttack, internet history, like it'd be really fun to do that. This show has been, there's been a broad variety of topics on this show. And if you guys truly like want to see that type of discussion where we're talking about, you know, ScrewAttack, our take on the internet as a whole, you know, our experience online, whether it's with Game Attack or my experience or Brad's with 5 Times August or whatever, like I'm totally fine with that. You guys seem like you're enjoying this conversation, so I'm totally great with that. And all you guys watching over on Twitch as well. So we have close to 200 combined viewers today, which is really outstanding. Cool. That's a record viewership tonight. So thank you guys very much. Outstanding stuff. You know, there was a comment I wanted to read up here that really was, where was it? It was talking more or less about the type of gamer today, right? The idea of not being able to pick up on social cues. And I think there's something to that, right? When you grow up around people, you figure things out. But the less you're around people, the more you're online, you have your rapport with your, you know, friends, some of which you've literally never met before, or you may see once a year at a convention that you met at a convention. They live in Massachusetts, you live in California, and you talk throughout the year, and you talk on Discord, and you talk on wherever else. But just being around people, I think there's something missing when it comes to gaming as a whole. So, who knows? Who knows? I think there could be something to that. Let's see. Air Parent says the big problem is that toxicity is focused on way too much these days. The fun and good stuff gets overshadowed by the controversies. It happens with every hobby. Happens on the internet. Yeah. I mean, it goes back to the idea of what we talk about with reporting and journalism as a whole. How if it leads or if it bleeds, it leads. That's how people take in their news. That's why Twitter, Facebook, they're so toxic, because people want to see the negativity in people. So there's a ton of truth in that. Yeah. They call me Mr. Y. Says, total curiosity, how does one stream on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously? I know technology is easy to pull off, but I thought if you stream on Twitch, you'd have to stream on Twitch only. No, we do it because we want to. And if the reality is, look, I'm a partner on Twitch, and pretty much name only. I didn't sign a deal with them. It was I got a deal with Twitch through when I worked with Rooster Teeth, and they just partnered me up there. So that's really it. And if they were to come to me and be like, I think that the bad pub that they would get for forcing a tiny streamer to stream exclusively on their platform is not worth it. So it is what it is. It's just one of those things.
It's just old stuttering Craig over there.
Good old stuttering Craig, the old relic.
Whatever. Old games.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Spaz came in with 100 bits. Says, I might be going to Finland next year to meet some indie devs. I was learning, I was thinking of learning Finnish, but it's whack. In Finnish, the difference between inviting someone over and threatening to kill them is just one word. Finland also is the second largest distributor of games behind in the European Union, behind France, and the largest per capita. Finland's population is 7 million, and they have a massive video game market. I've heard that about them. If you guys haven't seen the story about the Finnish guy who brought Mario over to Europe, go find that story. It's an amazing story on YouTube. It's amazing. I fully encourage everyone to check it out. Toastaback came in with 100 bits. Says back from my family trip, I actually missed being able to play games alongside friends and family. There's just something special about being able to play with people next to you rather than just online. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. And while it's amazing that I can stream and play, like I played games with a guy named Party Peta, and Peta is outstanding. I've never actually met Peta before, but I would consider Peta a friend. I think he's very, very likable and nice. I just never actually met Peta. And I would say that's probably the same for, 95% of the people who stream with other people, is they have not met the people that they're streaming with. They just, they get together, they play on a whim, and they go. I think of, golly, there's so many people that I've streamed with that I've literally never met before. It's crazy, yeah, for sure. But to answer your question, back to the original question about streaming on on Twitch and on YouTube, we stream through a product called StreamYard. And StreamYard is a really great website. It's very simple to use, and it allows you to stream to Twitch or YouTube or multiple outlets as well. So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Let's see. That was a nice comment in there. It's about me growing, which is very nice. Matt Mondo wants to know if we're still based in Dallas. Wouldn't you like to know? Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Ethan says Craig streams for Craig and the Legends. That's right. So yeah, lots of really, really good things happening for sure. Oh, Chancho says, I'm so happy to see your growth, Craig. Well, thanks, Chancho. Appreciate that. You're the one. You're the one who's. Craig. Oh, thanks, Brad. You're the second. Second.
I think what I'm happy to see as far as growth goes? Your goatee.
Oh, you like that?
How's it going?
I actually had to shorten it. I had to go in and I kind of came in on the sides. I need to shave. Today was speaking of growth. Today was my first day of my my new workout regimen. Mm-hmm. You know how many calories I burned in an hour?
50.
950.
Wow, Craig.
I know. I was impressed by myself. It's crazy when you put a heart rate monitor on how much harder you work. It's crazy. Man, look at this. Zim came back again.
No, he didn't.
With 10 gifted subs over on Twitch. Twin, 10 for the win. Twin. 10 gifted subs. If you got gifted a sub from Zim, make sure you say thank you and consider paying it forward. That's insanely nice. Wow. Some good questions here. Once again, if we want to, we can open it up. We got a few more minutes for any sort of questions.
Yeah. We were going to do an AMA at the end of the show today, so this works out.
So glad you made a podcast about the topic. Wasn't sure what you meant fully when you mentioned the toxicity of gaming culture. So it's cool to get the perspective. Well, thanks. Appreciate it, Mr. Slowpoke. Yeah. I was thinking about like Twitter as a whole. Wouldn't Twitter be a whole lot better? Is when you reply to somebody, you had to do it in video form. That's the only way you could reply to somebody. Instead, you can't reply with memes. And whenever you wanted to say something, you had like 10 seconds to say it. I know that there was the different social media. There was like, what was the one called where you could post the 8-second long videos or whatever. I think that it's still there. I know there's TikTok and such, but it was a social media platform. If you could only do it on Twitter, where you could only post videos, you could only reply with actual video of you saying things. I think that'd be pretty fascinating. Now, there's no way in hell that would ever work because you get all sorts of dicks and stuff and whatever. But Avante says, Craig, when was the last time you punched somebody in the nuts? Well, it's been eons, friend, because that's assault, brother.
Probably punched me in the nuts at some point. Get together.
Absolutely. Nick says, I never met you in real life, Craig, but after all these years of following you on ScrewAttack, Game Attack, and here, I feel like we could be friends if we met. I agree. I 100% agree. I think that there's several people that I follow. Now, with that said, I'll tell you this. There were several people that I very much thought were my friends that had followed me from ScrewAttack to Game Attack and literally just cut me off because they think I'm something that I'm not. But they've never reached out to me. They've never asked me my insight. They never wanted to talk about it. They just assumed. They got consumed by the hate mob and the hate culture. The idea that, well, Craig must be this because this other person said it. Now, don't completely disregard the 13 or 14 years we've spent together online up to that point. Completely disregard it. Somebody else said something about me, so you're going to believe them. So, and I just think that's so sad and shallow. And once again, I thought these were friends, but they weren't. And I think that's probably the saddest part of it, for sure. So, yes. Oh, yeah, I was referring to Vine. Sorry. Man, look at this.
Vine.
Yes, Vine.
I had a Vine account. I did about 6 videos, gave up.
Sir Digby Chicken Caesar came in with the 10-pound super chat. It says, after enjoying them for all the years, I've recently fallen out of love reaction videos. I've recently fallen out of love reaction videos. Maybe with reaction videos. I find myself saying to myself, is this all fake or exaggerated? Do you think reaction videos are fake, good, or bad? So reaction videos are the easiest way to become a successful YouTuber. You just take someone else's content, you spend 3 minutes recording yourself and going, oh, and then you do this. Oh, what? Do you remember like the first 2 episodes? Sir Digby Chicken Caesar, thank you so much for the 10-pound super chat. Do you remember the first few episodes where we actually would stop to do a thumbnail faces? You want to bring that back right now?
Yeah, that would be great. You want to do some thumbnail?
There you go. That's now. I will tell you this. There was the ScrewAttack Archive YouTube channel, and it got destroyed. Rooster Teeth came in and slapped the shit out of that channel and said, "You will not upload that." The guy who ran it reached out to me. He said he wants to remain anonymous. But he was a long-time G1, and he sent me a hard drive with every single ScrewAttack video on it. Every single one. At least that I know of. You know, I'm sure there's some out there that he didn't have. But he sent me it. And I thought about doing some reactions to them. But I don't think it would fit on this channel anymore. So, you know, like I said,
put them on your Patreon.
Oh, yeah, we could do it on Patreon. That'd be fun. Yeah, I think that'd be really great over at patreon.com/CraigSkits. Yeah, support the
Yeah.
show that way. I think that'd be pretty good. Pretty
This would
good.
be the bonus if you want the hardcore commentary on the old school stuff.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Because I did some commentaries on this channel before we switched over to the podcast format, but that was a good one. I was just kind of farting around with seeing what I wanted to do with it. So, Aquilum, thank you so much for resubbing tier 1 for 6 months. Thank you for over on twitch.tv/CraigSkits. And Shadownaut also used 295 bits. Thank you so much, Shadownaut. That is awesome. And Zim came in with 500 more bits. Says, to the guy who said I was rich earlier, I am not by any means. I would just prefer to share what I can to those that I think could use it in better ways than me. I love supporting Craig and Brad because they are great guys, and I hope to see them succeed in whatever dreams they want to achieve. Zim, that means a lot. And we know you're not rich or anything.
That's a beautiful thing to say. Imagine all this toxicity that we're talking about was replaced with that. Hey, I want to see you succeed in all your dreams. Imagine every time somebody was about to call somebody a racist online, they instead said, you know what? We might disagree, but I hope that you succeed in all your dreams.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
A great thing. Good stuff.
Spaz says, I wanted to invest in Remedy Entertainment for a long time now. They are not listed on the New York Stock Exchange. They are part of the NASDAQ Nordic. I love Max Payne and Control. Awesome, Spaz. Well, that's great, man. Real quick, this is kind of interesting. Thomas says, I was talking about doing reactions of things, and he says, be very cautious of doing that. I was watching the Death Battle cast, and they are not okay with those videos being out there. Really? Send me a link of that, because I would love to read to watch that and see how they talk about it, because that is hilarious. Oh, man, that's awesome.
Funny.
That is great. So there you go. Do we got anything else?
I don't know. Somebody was asking me earlier about they're bringing up the whole Ninja Turtle face.
Oh man, yeah. Do you think we could do that today? No.
Yeah, like those are the moments. Like it's so funny because those things were just impromptu moments that like I just showed him. I was like, I'm just gonna do this. I don't know. It was in my early 20s or so when we did that, and just would approach people looking like that, dressed up and dry humping them while they're trying to play a game or something. It's like,
right.
You could not. You'd be arrested so fast and canceled so quickly today.
Right.
The moment that you tied that thing down there. Then,
would you like Would you like a Ninja Turtle face on your face?
Yeah.
That's right. It was gold of the times, his comments, right? Hooray came in with really nice. Says video games are dead. ScrewAttack is great for its time, but the time has passed us by. Agreed. I like the content. The only problem is I can't catch the live streams. Great stuff. Keep it up. Hooray. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that. And when you have time, we're live every Sunday through Thursday here on YouTube and on Twitch. With that said, I am also live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. So if you're waking up in the morning, I just started my first stream today at 9 a.m. And you know what? I had a great time. So make sure you guys hop on over and join me at twitch.tv/CraigSkits. It's it's a small, rabid, amazing community. We have great people who just want to get together and talk about things for sure, man. This is great.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. That's right. It's fun. Like Gimblo, I'm gonna give Gimblo a little spotlight. Gimblo's been active in the chat. It says, has Unaware Steve played a game since 1992? No. Unaware Steve actually died in a car accident. Can you speak to that?
He died in a car accident.
That's sad.
We did try to do that one Unaware Steve callback at Game Attack a year or two ago.
Yep.
And I just wasn't vibing with the character. Sometimes these things, they just are better off left in the past. And no matter how much you want them back, they're not going to come back the way you want them to in your brain.
Right. By the way, I'm searching for it right now.
Which one? Oh, my failed attempt at bringing Unaware Steve back.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the lines, and I just wasn't. I didn't want to do it. But these things, like if you're a hardcore ScrewAttack fan and you love those things, like just seek out the old videos and soak in the nostalgia, because even if that came back today, it's not going to be anything that you would want it to be at all.
No, I've been very upfront. I tried to buy ScrewAttack back about, I don't know, 3-4 months ago. um, uh, we were in deep conversation about it. We had actually agreed on a price, and between myself and Rooster Teeth about buying ScrewAttack back, and I had a big vision for what I wanted to do with it. And when it got up to the Time Warner aspect of it, they asked for an absurd amount of money that I'm not even going to even talk about, because it
the
was
kind of amount of dollars that you'd write on a piece of paper and slide forward to somebody on a table.
well, they would slide it forward and say, here you go. And then you would look at it and go, and blow your nose with it and laugh. Because like, why are you buying a dead brand for that? You know, like the brand's been dead for years. Nobody's seen it. What are you buying? You know? So it was crazy. So I mean, it was Dr. Evil money. It was Dr. Evil type money. It wasn't 6 zeros. It wasn't 6 zeros, but there were 5 zeros in it for sure. So it was crazy. It was crazy.
I think if there's anything we've learned from reboot culture over the last decade, it very rarely turns out in a positive way. You know, it's a reboot, and then there's hype behind it. Everybody goes, "Oh, okay," and then everybody moves on.
You know, it's funny. I actually have. I think it's in this thing I have here. I think it actually has. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because I wrote down like an entire business plan for the reboot of it, and I knew exactly how I wanted to do it. And let's see if I can find it real quick. I think I can find it real fast, because it's in this notebook. My notebook has everything in it. But I mean, the long and short of it, I'll tell you exactly what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was I wanted to take here it is right here. I wanted to do this is it right here. I wanted to call it One Last Run, and I wanted to reboot ScrewAttack for 1 year. I wanted to say you're like, I didn't like the way ScrewAttack ended. You didn't like the way ScrewAttack ended. So I want to do 1 year, and I was going to crowdfund it and go for a certain amount of money, or like based off of a certain amount of time period, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. 1 year was the max. And the goal is to make ScrewAttack available for everyone, like forever, right? And put everything out there to where, you know, it was ad free. You could download it. You could do whatever you want with it to where it's just there. And you know, that was kind of the idea. Is just call it like One Last Run, and get as many people as I could attached to it as I could. Reach out to everybody. I got this list of everybody. I wanted to do side scrollers, and wanted to have a breakdown of like get each of the casts in for, like, I just spent a lot of time thinking about this. I want to do like one with do several episodes based off of the lifespan of ScrewAttack, and for that, however long it was, 3 months, 6 months, year, the idea of getting back the different cast for side scrollers, bring back Tom, bring back Corey and Jose, bring back Chad, Ben, and Nick, you know, and then do all that stuff. And I had like this big vision for it, and it nearly came true. But like I said, it wasn't Rooster Teeth the decision. I have no problem with Rooster Teeth. It was once it got to the next level. So it would have been really, really cool. So, but alas, it didn't work out. Like Nathan was on board. Like everyone I talked to was like, yes. But it got squelched because the price attached to it was way too much. So
it got to Warner Brothers, huh?
Yeah.
That's why I'm boycotting Warner Brothers.
That's right. That's
exactly why.
Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing. So anyway, that was kind of the goal with it for sure.
That could have been cool. That could have been really cool. I think
it would have been too.
If companies think like that, like, let's do it really good for a really short amount of time, and not pitch it like it's going to come back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like long term, like with all these reboots when they get launched, and it's like, oh, it's back, but it's really not. Like somebody had mentioned, like Animaniacs worked out. It's working out right now because it's been out for like a month or two, but it's not going to work out for 2 or 3 more years. It's just a little money maker for, what is it, on Hulu?
Right.
And it's not sustainable. It's just not. And I
Yeah,
think you do it right, having anniversary get-togethers, reunions, things like that. That's probably the best way to go about things like that.
I agree. And I think that's that's really, I wanted to set an end date to it. A start at an end date to where, I've always said I wanted to end, whenever we would do SGC, the idea was I wanted to end it on an absolute high and then just have it end and people be like, oh, and I wanted to do that with this as well, where I ended on an absolute high with bringing it back and doing it for a year or however long it was. And then just being like, okay, here's everything, and I think that would have been really, really cool. So, but alas, whatever, it is what it is. So, I saw Tattoo Game says, man, hearing this makes my heart sink. It actually hurts my heart because this would have been so nice to see this happen. But I won't lie, I'd probably cry seeing it. Right. That was just kind of it. That was the vision I had for, a short burst. I didn't see ScrewAttack as something that I'd want to do again for a long amount of time. I really thought through how I'd want to do it. But for the price tag they were asking, it was not worth it. It was not worth it. So, yeah. So there you go. I mean, we've got an hour and 10 minutes again. Shit. Okay.
Yeah. Well, everybody can go to sleep dreaming about that, and they can make it what they want to be, and they can wake up in the morning and comment about their dream.
Yeah, for sure. Ethan says, any way you can do it without the ScrewAttack branding sounds mad intriguing. I don't think that I'd want to do it without the ScrewAttack branding. I'd want to have that bolt and that da-da-da-da-da-da, because that's what people want to hear,
Could call it Stuttering Craig's Attack of Screws anniversary.
Right. Man, I would be sued so quickly. So quickly.
That's amazing.
Sweet Gamer says 4, 5, 6 figures. 6.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yep. Jeff Waldman says, well, I'm gonna have weird nightmares about this podcast now. Good. I think the biggest thing, Tim says ScrewAttack was extremely ahead of his time. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. With that said, it's also lost in time because you can't find any of it anywhere on YouTube, which YouTube is going to be the ultimate time vault of content on the internet. I mean, you can find the G.I. Joe parodies, you can find, Homestar Runner, you can find all these things that were around that time, except for ScrewAttack, and there's a lot of the machinima stuff too. The machinima stuff that just got nuked off their channel is so sad. But the RB and the Chiefs and all these shows from back in the day, and I think that's when I speak of ScrewAttack, I think that's probably the biggest regret that I can't control is that it's not available for people to see now. So I think that's my one wish.
You know what you do, Craig, for people that want that content. You put up on eBay a DVD-R, and it there. You don't know what's on this DVD-R. People can speculate. And it's a set of DVD-Rs.
Or hard drive. How about just a hard drive?
Just put up some hard drives with these videos on there. I was dating myself. Put 500 DVD-Rs up for sale.
Right.
With all of the content. No, yeah, you get a hard drive, you put it up, you just say, look, I don't know what's on this drive. I'm just selling the hard drive for what it is. There may or may not be a whole bunch of old videos from the internet that you can't find anymore on YouTube, but there may be a whole bunch of those on here.
All this sounds really great, except for the fact that you just brought this up online.
I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of like, game trailers died, the brand did, but it's still there with Easy Allies. If Brandon's there and the guys are there, it's still there for sure. So
all these nice formats.
Interesting hypothetical legal situation there. Plausible deniability. I don't know what happened. What are you talking about? So
I don't know. I just had a hard drive sitting around, didn't want it, put it up on eBay.
That's funny.
I can't help what's on there.
Ronak says if a new ScrewAttack video popped in my YouTube recommendations, it would drop kick me with the feels. Well, I'll tell you this. I actually did do, and I plan on doing, not video game vaults, but I am doing the vaults over on patreon.com/Craig Skits. And I put up the first episode of the vault over on patreon.com/Craig6. And I will do that once a month. So if you want to support over there, you can actually watch a new Craig video on Double Dragon.
You know what you're doing right now? You're doing what the Beach Boys have to do when they go on tour. It's like they can't, for legal reasons. Sometimes, like when Mike Love goes out on tour, it's Mike Loves the Beach Boys.
Oh,
That's the official title of it. Or Electric Light Orchestra can't go out on tour as Electric Light Orchestra. It's Jeff Lynne's ELO, and that's how you know you're going to get the guy and his music. But it's funny. It's like if you went by Stuttering Craig's ScrewAttack, you might be able to get away with that.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. Zim apparently is bowing out after the ridiculousness that he has thrown down, finishing up with 5,000 bits. Says, I love you all.
Yeah.
I hope everyone takes care. Do great things. Zim, we will. Wow.
Much love.
That's
Much
insane.
respect.
Stuttering Craig's ScrewAttack.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh man.
That's what I'm here for.
I'd have to do a little bit of digging. On that.
Well,
do a little digging.
I'm letting you know the famous bands do it. I'm letting you know that they do it. They've got a loophole. You can do it too. I don't think ScrewAttack is as big and well known as the Beach Boys,
but they're owned by the titan that is AT&T and Time Warner.
Yeah.
Who controls the world outside of Disney. So it's crazy.
Damn the man,
crazy.
Craig.
They call me Mr. Y. Says, I feel like the G1s would really help rally to buy ScrewAttack back, but at the same time, that'd be a hell of a lot for a community to pony up. You truly have no idea. Do
the G1s have bars of gold sitting around?
Yeah, if anybody can, I'll tell you, if anybody would like to spare 4 Bitcoin, how's that? How's 4 Bitcoin sound? Anybody got those? Anyways, well, just hang tight. We'll kind of go for there. So, okay, cool. As Jeff Alden says, just trick Rooster Teeth to giving it back to you. It's funny. Dave Chappelle got his show back. How did he do that? So, yeah, there you go. Okay, well, cool. I'll tell you what. Let's get out of here. This is a really fun show. If you guys are new to the channel, hopefully you subscribe to it. You made it this far. Over on YouTube. And if you're watching over on YouTube and you have Amazon Prime and you're over on Twitch, consider supporting your boys over there with a Prime sub. Nothing would help us out more, man. It's awesome. You guys have been huge tonight. We cannot tell you how much we genuinely appreciate your support. This is a show that streams to, tops 1,000 people a day. This is not a huge show, but I feel like what we're doing is fun and important, and we got such a great audience. You guys are outstanding, and just know that we do not take that for granted.
No way, Jose.
No way, Jose. There you go. Mike Beer says, new KO goal, buy back ScrewAttack. Right. Okay, so guys, once again, have an excellent day. Please hit the thumbs up button before you head out over on YouTube. Maybe we can hit 150 thumbs up before we get going, and we can add a new thumb to Larry before the next episode. How great would that be? Yeah. Daddy Quack says, best show on Twitch. Love that. It's outstanding. All right. Once again, head over, feed the algorithm, hit the thumbs up button, and make a comment on YouTube. Of you guys watching over on Twitch, once again, please join me every Monday through Friday at twitch.tv/CraigSkits, and we'll continue the conversation every single day. Just have a great show, or have a great show.
Have a great show. We just had a great show, Craig. The best one
so bad.
we've ever done.
God.